Hi, I'm Lightfoot and I'm taking this opportunity to come out of the closet. As an atheist, non-practicing, I guess that's the beauty of it, I confess, somewhat ironic, that I like to dress in religious and clerical robes. There, I've said it. I'm a transvestmentite. Here's a religious story. It's called Salt, or the tale of Lot's wife as told by somebody else who wasn't there either. The Bible tells us little of Lot's wife. Her husband's name, well, that one's a given. Sodom, her town, synonymous with sin, was coming up for review in heaven. Turned by God into a pillar of salt, she looked back when she shouldn't have ought her. Maybe parental concern turned her head for an abandoned son or a daughter. But some scrolls unearthed in the desert sands are now causing a storm in the media. Scholars and experts are willing to say they're as accurate as Wikipedia. Back when the Bible was going to press and its editors were tasked to compile, one writer fell foul of the Vatican who didn't favour his page-turning style. We don't think you're taking seriously the whole point of Sodom and Gomorrah. You seem to be trying to entertain while we want to fill readers with terror. We weren't taken with your Lot and his wife in that he found it awkward to handle her. We're looking for a little more Dante, not so much of the Raymond Chandler. So sending him a rejection slip and the advice, try writing a whodunit. His name was erased from all their records and he was marked down as not for profit. Now seen as patron saint of screenwriters, but back then he was cast as pariah. Out of the darkness and into the light. Hear now the words of the prophet Jeremiah. This is an excerpt from the book of Jeremiah. The twin towns of Sodom and Gomorrah were joint top of the decadent league charts. God wanted to punish them for taking, how can I say, too much of an interest in the arts. Their wicked ways were well documented. Lives of debauchery, lust and ennui. The Sodomians were an evil lot. We can't call them Sodomites, can we? With procedures already set in place, God needed to have his man on the spot. There to fight crime for the SGPD, his name was Detective Inspector Lot. Now Lot was disillusioned and depressed at his failure to clean up the city. Policeman Lot was not a happy one, because it was rife with iniquity. God had charged him with an onerous task. In order to prevent the city's fate, he had to locate 50 righteous men. So far he'd only come up with 8. And so it was that God had decided on the city's complete demolition. He said not a single stone would survive, easing the way for planning permission. But God could see that Lot was a good man and sent 2 of his angels to warn him. Sodom and Gomorrah are toast, they said, so make sure you're long gone before morning. The Lord makes this one simple proviso. On hearing the first fire and brimstone crack over the decadence you've left behind, it's imperative that you don't look back. At this point, I shall introduce Lot's wife. We'll call her Edith to make things plainer. Now, salt of the earth was lovely Edith, and Lot's love for her was a no-brainer. As they followed the angels up the hill, the first blast called them all some upheaval. Bet your bottom dollar that's Gomorrah, sung one angel, which seemed rather evil. Lot knew that his wife could be willful. They discussed it as they climbed up the track. He pleaded with her to resist the urge, but she couldn't stop herself looking back. A horrendous crack rent the morning air, then the soundtrack to pandemonium. Lot looked at his wife for the last time as she turned from Sodom into sodium. Now Lot, in his wanderings, grew distraught. He saw that column as a monument. Dragging poor Edith from pillar to post, she became a well-travelled condiment. Her presence became an embarrassment, so much so that when Lot wasn't looking, his later wives would chip bits of her off as a means to enliven their cooking. This process led to her diminishment. It no longer took 10 men to lift her. She spent her final days on the table like a family-sized drum of sifter. Our prophet's cautionary tale is not that women should obey their masters. He wants to keep you turning the page with severed heads, plagues and whaling disasters. Like that aforementioned cast-out prophet, I'm only looking to entertain you, but it would be remiss not to point out that there is other stuff on the menu. Whatever's written must have a writer. So if there's a God you choose to exalt, be wary of those who represent them and take what they write with a pinch of salt.